Making a prediction list, I mean, by now it should be fairly easy for us to do. We've been making prediction lists with great success for quite some time. And by we, I mean me and you. It's a 50-50 partnership we got going on here. I think that once you figure out certain trends Konami likes to do, then making an appropriate prediction list is just, it's easy. Now making a perfect forbidden list, oh boy, that's the hard part. Because not only do you have to balance current Yu-Gi-Oh! And its problems, you have to do it ever so delicately. Hitting certain cards on the forbidden list for sensationalism, because everyone feels it's right, doesn't always make it right. While also bringing certain cards off your forbidden list can create a complete controversy. A lot of times, players will disregard your list. There's a balance between the two, and you have to have reason to it. In this video, we are going to be making the perfect forbidden list. Now, just like how we make the perfect prediction list, I'm going to need your 50-50 in this. I want you to post down below in the comment section what cards do you think should come off the forbidden list, but don't just blindly say cards like Harpy's Feather Duster should come off the forbidden list because it's in the OCG. No, you're gonna actually have to put some thought behind it. Without further ado, let's jump on in. This is gonna be a really exciting video. So before I start saying ban this, limited that, semi-limited this, and free homie that, we actually have to address the current meta. That might be the thing that we want to talk about. The pros about this current Yu-Gi-Oh! Format. Those multiple negation decks aren't the best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's kind of crazy how putting on 4, 5, 6 negates doesn't mean that you always win the game. I love that this Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game is a battle of attrition. Who can outwit the best? Who plays the best plays? And more importantly, what exactly is your deck made of? That is something that I think we have to look for when we look into a format. In the cons with the current Yu-Gi-Oh! Format is that some of the top contending decks all seem to play the exact same combo. The HARP combo has sparked great controversy, with players saying that HARP should be banned, LINKROSS should be banned, and there's so many iterations of cards such as SYNCHRON that players argue for being on the forbidden list. I don't think that they're necessarily entirely wrong. History suggests that Konami will hit an engine if it's splashed into a myriad of decks. But I do see a solution. Dinos winning the remote invitational, not using any HARP pieces, I think that there's a glimmer of hope, and I think this would be the best approach for a perfect forbidden list to try to encourage other decks to be played by using their own mono engine. And similar to how you can play other engines in Yu-Gi-Oh! Inside of a deck, it's not too overbearing, it's powerful, but it's not most of the format. This video is going to look to making as many decks as competitive as possible without adding to the HARP engine. The first card on this forbidden list has to go to Explodorokket Dragon. Now, Explodorokket Dragon is a problem for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game because it promotes FTKs. Any time where a player cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the other player is too busy playing with themselves, that is a problem. I mean, we should know not to play with yourselves in public. Come on, guys. Banning Explodorokket Dragon not only fixes the Dragon Link FTK, but does not prevent the Dragon Link deck from being competitive in any way, shape, or form. I think that it's a perfect hit, and normally if I have to ever address an FTK, I address them as they come. I'm not gonna go out and ban Machine Crush Type 0 and Royal Magical Library if they're not currently doing something. That just makes this video way too long. The next card I am going to ban, I know Sky Striker players are going to love this because it's addition by subtraction. I don't think that there's been too many decks that would love to see a card on the forbidden list. But banning Sky Striker Hornet drones is perfect for the Sky Striker strategy. For the players that don't know, Sky Striker Hornet drones was once used as a sort of engine, the Sky Striker Mobilize Engage being able to fetch the drones, and drones served as at least 2 free monsters. If you activated drones, you can turn it into a Kagari. Kagari could get back the drones, and well, there you have it. This would be catastrophic for HARP decks because they just have 2 free monsters and wouldn't even have to waste the Jet Synchron. And it doesn't matter that Sky Striker Ace Ray will take up a slot in your extra deck. I'm gonna make Sky Strikers as a whole a better and more competitive deck, which means Hornet Drones has to go. Now, I'm not gonna ban any more cards, but there are a few honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is LINKROSS. I don't feel that Hacklefibrix is necessarily the problem in the Hacklefibrix combo. The Hacklefibrix combo is fairly fragile and requires you to play quite a few cards in your extra deck, consuming a lot of extra deck space. LINKROSS allows the Hacklefibrix combo to almost be unhand trappable. You can dedicate your Hacklefibrix into a LINKROSS and then be able to make your Herald before your opponent can really respond with genuine cards. It's almost literally screaming Nibiru me now or never Nibiru me again, because you can make the Herald of Arclight before committing into the Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. I like that Auroradon prevents a player from link summoning after you use its effect, so I want the player to have to make a tough decision. Either they go into the Auroradon combo and risk losing it to hand traps, or they don't go into Auroradon combo and find some other streamlined play for Hacklefibrix. Now, UTOPIC ZEXAL is a card that players have wanted to be banned for quite some time, and that's why I'm mentioning it as an honorable mention. Personally, I think that the UTOPIC ZEXAL lock is pretty bad. I've actually made an entire video on it. If you guys want to see in-depth detail on why the card is bad, then go ahead and click on this annotation here. One thing that I do like about the ZEXAL lock is that it has changed the way players have played Yu-Gi-Oh!, which essentially became a hard counter for the Hacklefibrix engine, which is the reason why I think that LINKROSS doesn't necessarily deserve a ban. Moving on to limited, Sky Striker players rejoice, because we're bringing Sky Striker Mobilize Engage off of the banned list and onto the banned list, because it's still a ban list even though you moved off of it, like the ban portion. Engage to 1 is a huge boost for Sky Striker players, while also preventing the Sky Striker engine from being played in other decks. The reason being is because you can run that 1 Mobilize Engage, but that target that gave you so much advantage is banned. We seen earlier in this format how Sky Striker was able to compete with Edlich, and then unfortunately Edlich was able to get more support and adapted to the Sky Striker strategy. Now receiving a huge boost with Mobilize Engage, Sky Striker can once again take on some of the top strategies in the meta without being overbearing. The next limited card is ORCUST HARP Horror. Now, ORCUST was another card that was played inside of so many decks. The interesting thing about this is between Hacklefibrix, LINKROSS, Martial Metal Marcher, and Herald of Arclight, you are going to have to use the ORCUST HARP Horror as your last part of your combo. And that would be cool and all, but are you going to use the Herald of Arclight, or are you going to use the Borreload Savage Dragon to start linking off into your ORCUST plays? Please let me know. Basically, what I'm saying is other decks would be hard-pressed to play the ORCUST strategy, not only because it's such a huge engine, the Hacklefibrix combo, so is the ORCUST strategy. On top of that, you would have to supply other monsters, as well as find a way to get ORCUST HARP Horror into your graveyard. This is just a lot of work. The ORCUST strategy on the flip side could play the Hacklefibrix combo as well as the ORCUST engine for obvious reasons, but that's a ton of extra deck space out of themselves. They're gonna get this amazing fancy turn 1 board, and then once the opponent breaks it, because we're in a Yu-Gi-Oh format where, you know, boards can easily be broken, yeah, they'll have no other extender plays. Moving on with semi-limit, in the perfect forbidden list, it's pretty much close to any other forbidden list. Not too many hits go here, but Sky Striker multi-rolls does come from limited to semi-limited. This card probably should have never been limited after Sky Striker Mobilize Engage was banned. This is the card that is necessary for Sky Strikers to even keep up with the meta. I'm not even going to talk about this card any longer. I'm just going to move straight to the unlimiteds, because boy, there are some amazing cards in here. On the unlimited side, we have Seer, Graf, and Beatrice, all Burning Abyss cards that were once currently limited on the list come to 3, and it's for a good reason. It's not my bias. The Burning Abyss strategy has been on the forbidden list for at least 4 years in some capacity. Through that, there's been a power creep in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a huge power creep in Yu-Gi-Oh! That has dynamically changed the game. Now, I want you old school players to go back in time with me a little bit. Imagine a Borreload Savage Dragon and a Herald of Arclight in Burning Abyss days, all through one card. That would be unheard of. Worst case, the Burning Abyss strategy does help the new Phantom Knights cards in Phantom Rage, which pushes another deck into competitive relevancy. Regardless, if either of those happen, it feels that the Burning Abyss strategy on the Forbidden list is a waste of ink. Seriously, just like how Altergeist, Multi-Faker, Ritual Beast, Ulti Kanahawk, and Necros and a Unicorn were waste of space on the Forbidden list. Pantheism of the Monarchs off the Forbidden list completely. This is a huge boost to the Monarch strategy and literally nothing else. I'll be able to explain in detail why I'm giving buffs to the Monarch strategy, as well as a couple of other strategies. Skill drain to 3 is literally a balanced Mystic Mind. Talk about power creep in Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember when skill drain was put to the Forbidden list, had one. Lastly is Dynamite, the True Draco Fighter, and True King's Return coming completely off the Forbidden list. You might look at me completely crazy and be like, TheCaliEffect, this was obviously an entire ploy to talk about how True Draco can come back into the meta, but hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. True Draco could come back into the meta. Not only is the True Draco strategy a fair and balanced strategy, especially with Card of Demise limited on the list and Masterpiece still banned, True Draco is actually a hard check to some of the top contending meta. It's kind of scary how perfectly matched True Draco is to Eldritch. Maybe a Battle of the Gods video to show you how good the deck really is. I don't know, you might have to post down below in the comment section, like this video up and share it with a friend. Let's say we get about 800, 900, 1,000 likes, probably could happen. True Draco also has amazing matchups against some of the top contention deck, but also fails really bad to some of the other strategies in the meta that are fringe. Sky Strikers, which is a strategy that does not care about True Draco's monster disruption, and ORCUST, which True Draco does have a fair matchup against, but it's more 50-50 toss-up. There are also some other amazing decks in the meta currently that just literally bully True Draco, but have a hard time with decks like Eldritch. And that's pretty much how you create a perfect Forbidden list. We have strategies that aren't relying on the extra deck that check some of the top contending metas. And then we have some of those rogue or underrated tier decks that can check decks like True Draco, Monarchs, and Burning Abyss. All of these strategies create a perfect harmony where you have a format where more decks can compete without hitting too many decks inside of the format. Now, of course, I'm still going to need your help. Again, I want you to post down below in the comment section what should be added to this Forbidden list, or maybe what things I'm a little bit crazy about. Also, if you want to see that True Draco versus that Eldritch matchup, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let's try to get to that 1,000 like mark, and we'll go ahead and start on the production of that video. It takes a lot of effort, so I need a lot of effort from you. Of course, be sure to check out these other videos because I'll catch you on the next one.